everyone, Mark B here from Outcasts. Hope everyone's well. We haven't disappeared, we're still here, don't worry. Things have been a bit quiet, we've all been busy for various reasons, so thought I'd do a quick midweek video for you. Going to cover Bitcoin, S&P and probably Dixie. I did just record about a 20-minute video with the microphone off, so my voice is gone, but I'll give this a go. So going to start off with Bitcoin, and on the monthly chart, this is the index, the all-time history ticker, and what I was just going to show was the where we are macro-wise. So I've marked off here the halving events, and what you can see is, as you'll know because you've seen these charts a million times probably, is we tend to put in a low and then there's a 12-month run up into the halving, low, 10 to 12 month run up, low, 10 to 12 months run up, blah blah blah. So in terms of where we are now, I think we're 14 months away. It's February 24-ish for the next one, so just something to bear in mind. Certainly not saying there's a bottom here, but once we start getting close, this previous behaviour is something to be taken note of. A lot of talk at the moment as whether the market now and the economic climate is different to any of these previous times. Bitcoin's never been in a major recession, depression, whatever. Yeah, that's all crystal ball shit. I don't really know. But we do have history to go off, and I don't pay too much attention to global economics when it comes to trading. Okay, so this other thing to note as well. Again, I'm not being bullish here. These are just kind of facts. And I posted this in the Discord as well. So this monthly stock cross has got some history. That once it crosses, we get some pretty major moves of sometimes thousands of %. So you can see those prior to the halving. Cross prior to halving, so we're not there yet. 19800, stranger things have happened in the month of November, and this isn't pointing up yet, but 198 to cross up, or if it moves into December, that number will come down. So just something to keep an eye on, that once that does cross, there is some history there. Also on the RSI, I've drawn a little box here. RSI currently is at an all-time low. It's been a pretty severe bear market and may not be over yet, but we can see this level around kind of 42 to roughly where we are now is pretty low historically. So once it's come into these regions twice before, which doesn't make a trend, that's timed with the the bear market bottoms, so could possibly be seeing that here, maybe. The other thing I was going to say was this last one, there was a monthly bullish divergence, cross, then move up. We have got bullish divergence present. This was flashing the other day from this point to this point, but obviously with the move down, it's disappeared. But we are pretty low into this region, so watch for a cross, watch for a bounce here. That's all I would say on that one. Go to Coinbase chart. Yeah, it pains me to use a Coinbase chart, but obviously we all know what's gone on with FTX, and sorry for anyone who's lost anything there. I was lucky enough to not have anything on that exchange at the time. A year ago I had quite a significant amount on there, so I got lucky, and not everyone did. So yeah, is what it is. Yeah, now on the Coinbase, sorry, just flick back to that one. Yeah, the other thing I'll say on the monthly actually is these monthly levels. I'll leave it on log scale. So sorry, first, yeah, you can see the drop in price we've had is, just for information, 77% at the moment. That's just for info. Certainly not saying it can't go lower, but that's a pretty severe drop without any bounces. Okay, so I'll get rid of that. Right, monthly levels. So this one here I've left on. Normally once price has gone through a level I take it off, but I've left this on for a reason. So you can see that was our 2017-18 high. It was also the 2019 high, so that 14k move, which was actually a if you do a fib pull, was a exact 618 golden pocket hit that faked everyone out. So and then went down to 3k. So you can see the significance there. You can also see in 2020 when we started the bull run, there was a pause there and then there was a retest and then move off. So I've left that on. That is 13,800. I think there's a reasonable chance it comes down there. I would expect a reaction, and what might be interesting, the next level 10.8, a lot of people are talking about 10k and 9k and whatever else. I mean, yeah, could go there, but there is a scenario where that's quite a strong level and it moves up off there and leaves everyone behind to FOMO in and then drops back later. Again, crystal ball stuff which I'm not really interested in. I just trade off levels, but that is significant for me. Yeah, 10 6 10 7 we've covered. Another monthly level down at 9. Another monthly level down at 6.4, and then there's one. Why have these all moved? Another one down at 3.3. So one step at a time. But I think these monthly levels actually frame the macro picture quite nicely. They're not easy to trade off, but if you're trading spot and investment stuff, then they are of use. Okay, only other thing, fantasy stuff at the moment, but there are some CME gaps still above 27 to sort of 28.5, and there's another one in the sort of 34 35 region. Okay, so that is it for the monthly. Got onto the weekly. What have we got on the weekly? This chart's going to get quite convoluted. So we mentioned the potential monthly bullish divergence. There is potential weekly as well from here to here. Again, I'm not being bullish and saying that can't carry on lower, but just something to watch for. It's also there on stochastic as well. The other thing I was just going to go over was on volume. Now, yeah, let's just zoom in here. Right, so volume nodes. So where we are now, 16,500. There is a volume node here, which we'll zoom in a minute. It's 16.6 to 16.8. So that is of interest. There's a big one above at 19.2, because obviously the last few weeks we traded there for ages. So these will become more relevant in a moment. And then we've got this one here at 11. Call it 12k. Now that's the start of like what I've called a volume shelf. So this was the range that we traded through the whole, up to late 2020, and it moved up through here pretty quickly. So one other theory that I've had for a while is if it breaks down into here, which we currently are at the moment, could it spend some time filling out volume gaps in this region? So that is a possibility. Anything else to say on the weekly? No, not really. We'll go down to the daily. Now the daily is, you can see the levels I've marked off there. We've got one at 15, call it 15.9. We've got one above at 16,800-ish, and then we've got this one up here at 17.5. So they are to be taken note of. I think they get a bit more interesting when we go down the time frame, so we'll carry on down. 12-hour stocks RSI not telling us much. Wanted to point out on the 12 hours the 21 exponential. So this is a little EO special trick, and if you've watched the range trading videos that I've done, we've covered these, but there's a real high hit rate that after a big move down, the first touch of that will be a rejection. So something to watch for when you're trading. You can go and check that historically yourself, but that certainly is going to give some trouble. And then I think we'll go down to the 4 hour because stuff gets a bit clearer down at the 4 hour. Right, so first thing I was going to say was, if you look at the volume pull, we've got a point of control here which is getting quite pointy. We've also got the 4 hour 21 coming down. We've got a daily level above, and so that's quite a bit of resistance in itself. We've also got what looks like a ascending triangle going on here. So yeah, there is a case to try and play off here back up to the top of the range. There is a slight sort of more bullish outcome from these, but we are in a pretty raging bear market, so don't be surprised if it breaks down. I've drawn a target on there, which the bullish one would be about 17.8, but I think the way I'd be playing this is, if you're going to try and play it, you'd want to be long off this support down here. You'd probably want to be taking some off at the this point of control or this daily, and some off here, and then hold for the breakout. Do not try and trade long on the breakout, you will get wrecked. So that's that, but I think if it does pop through here, there is quite a quick path up to this 17.5 region, just because not much has been traded in there. So that's that. Stochastic still heading down, and 16,650 to cross up. So not inconceivable that could cross up there on the next one if it carries on. But yeah, a lot of resistance overhead, and to be honest, the way I look at things, if you zoom out, this whole thing has just been, drop, consolidate, drop, consolidate, drop, blah blah blah. So this isn't showing us any bullish signs here at all, and I'm not saying to short it because we're already 80% down, but the to get bullish, it really needs to break above here and start moving up. This kind of trading below POCs and EMAs is not very bullish behavior. Okay, so I think that's all I had on Bitcoin. We'll go on to SPY. I'll try and keep this quick, so we'll stay on the weekly. So SPY quite different to Bitcoin. It's looking pretty good. We going all the way back from Corona low, we've had a high. Structurally, we've just been making lower highs until this one. You can argue this was a high, but it's now, if you look at it as low, high, lower low, this needs to really get above here to prove anything. We'll go into that in a bit more detail structure wise. Stochastics up, we got this double bullish divergence here which led to the move up. If we zoom in, you can see exactly what happened here. This is quite a cool one. I don't think few of us traded this. We'd had a fib pull from low to high. The golden pocket coming in at sort of 4,000 to 4,030, near perfect rejection off their slight wick above the 6. Why have I got that 6.5 and not 6.6? Okay, whatever. But yeah, rejected off there, and looking like it wants to come down. So if you're short from there, pretty good position to have, I think. We'll move into the detail of what we do with that in a moment. Levels wise, got a weekly level up here, 4061. That's going to cause some issues, I'm sure. But I think that's the one for me. If this wants to be bullish, it needs to at least start closing above here, and realistically above this one to change structure. There's quite a bit of resistance overhead. It's got to get through this golden pocket. Through this weekly, there's a range point of control here, and then ultimately this one does have stock momentum on its side, but I think that kind of covers the structure of how I'm looking at this. The other thing I've done, I did this in the last video before I had to delete it because there was no sound, but I've done a fib pull from here to here, and on the weekly you got golden pocket coming in at that sort of 37, 36, 85 region. It looks pretty severe, but actually it wouldn't be breaking structure if it came down here and then moved off. The good thing about this, you've got the weekly 200 down here as well, so if you are short from here, I think there's some the weekly chart's got some nice take profit areas if it's more of a macro swing, well, not macro but a swing. So you got weekly 21 for a take profit. You've also got if you look at the big range, you've got value area low for the big range coming in here, and it pretty much matches up with the value area low of this little range, and you've got a weekly level in there as well, so that is a nice take profit in there. And this one down here would be my sort of ultimate close for that short trade. I'm just going to have a look. Actually, I don't use the 0.5, but out of interest, okay, so 0.5 in trads does get used. That's coming in down there as well, so that is a really nice level. I think you could argue if it does come down there, you'd want to take quite a bit of your position off, or even look at long, but that golden pocket there looks quite inviting. So that's the weekly. On the daily, you can see the levels I've marked off there, getting quite complicated. Now in terms of where we are now, you can see that that 618 rejection we had. There was also some other stuff going on in here. We had this little point of control, and we also had the daily 200. Again, I think we posted this in the Discord, why that rejected there. Actually, so far it's not the strongest rejection. It's looking a bit like it's pulling back at the moment, but you can see created a daily level above, and this daily support here is pretty strong for now. I mean, we've still got 12 hours left in the day, so just because it's down here, don't assume it's not going to close above. If you are long off here, you've got to be managing clear of these wicks. If it does break down from here, I think it can come down pretty quick, just because of if you look at the impulse there, that was what was that, Thursday? That was a interest rate day, was it? Some news related pump. Because this came up so quickly, it can come down pretty quick as well. So if it gets a daily close below here, or even we'll have a look at lower time frames, that's when we could start to get our pullback into the levels we spoke about. So yeah, definitely don't get too bullish on the stock markets at the moment. It's still downtrend territory. Okay, I think that was all we're going to cover on the daily. I don't normally cover the 4 hour, but the only thing to mention is stocks are down 3985 to cross up. We're a bit away from that at the moment, and I was looking at this earlier. You are starting to get closes below that daily level and the 21 exponential, and it's starting to get some curve on it with a bit of a hammer there. So 10 minutes to close, and we'll see how that closes. But yeah, kind of looking like it wants to come down unless it can reclaim that level. Look at the 1 hour. Yes, that's starting to cross down, but still some hope if you're long. Right, we'll cover Dixie now, and we'll be quick because people get bored very easily. Right, so we were covering this channel. I mean, Dixie's been in a run up since, like, I drew this. When was this? I drew this W back in 2021. It played out quite nicely once it broke through, but pretty much since late 21, this has just been on moon mission. We had this channel here, and then obviously it's broken down. The target from that was this. Oh shit, I'm still on log. Sorry about The target from this was where was it, 106. It's actually exceeded that. This wasn't easy to play if you were trading it. I don't trade Dixie, but if you were using this channel, that probably would have faked people out. That move back in was pretty severe, but it did eventually get the weekly close outside, and then obviously it's dropped. So in terms of levels, weekly's dead, we'll take that off. The one I'm really looking at is this weekly here. It's quite a strong one. You can see that's why it's bounced off here. So yeah, don't be surprised if this either ranges or has a bit of a better bounce, because it's had a pretty severe drop. If we look at if we zoom out and do a macro fib pull, there's a level down here that is of interest in this golden pocket, because there's a weekly down there as well, but I think we're quite a way off that. It might take a while to grind down there. It might not even get there, but we have got momentum down. We have got I think on the monthly as well. Yeah, monthly. If that starts, it's already broken the RSI. If it gets to close below here, then I think we can expect some more down. But yeah, you can see that fib pull a bit better there. But yeah, I think there's levels in between that can save it first. So yeah, bounce off here is possible. Let's just have a look at the daily. Yeah, there's not much else I was going to say on this. Yeah, so I think there's probably a misconception that Dixie has to die for everything to go up. That's not the case. Certainly for Bitcoin, some of the best performances is when dollar index has been ranging. As long as it's not doing moon missions, then it could range in here and be okay for the rest of the market. So I don't, unless it loses this, there's also a daily 200 here. If it starts losing that weekly and that daily 200, then yeah, okay, that's where I'm looking. But I think we could get some bounces in there. And also, just going back to the SPY chart we looked at, there's possibilities that could go lower down to that 618, which might imply a move up for Dixie. It's getting into pretty beat up regions, like daily RSI hasn't been down here since mid 2021. Doesn't say it can't go lower, but yeah, watch out for bouncies on that. Okay, I think that's all I was going to cover. I've probably forgotten some good stuff that I put in the other video, but that's technology for you, or user error. We'll try and do a few more of these going forward, and we'll try and maybe do some live streams as well. We've been busy on other things and trying to do get the TA course ready. So yeah, hope that was of use. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.